You never want to be anybody's girlfriend, and now you're somebody's wife.
Surprised me too.
I don't think I'll ever understand that. I mean, it doesn't make sense.
It just happened.
This is the most hypocritical woman on the internet right now. She built her entire career on hating marriage. She told thousands of women they didn't need it, that men were the enemy, that the single woman was the freest woman alive. And the moment a man with money showed up, she signed the contract she used to call slavery. Today we're going to look at the hate videos she put out when she was the angry single woman, and the video where she tries to explain to her followers why she now believes in love, leaving all those feminists looking like complete fools. Before we get started, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment. That's what keeps us going. Let's get into it.
This is my scolding hot take, and you're either going to be ready to hear this or you're not going to be. Women historically have been slaves. I understand there's different forms of slavery, but women, in the true definition of the word, have been enslaved. Marriage was the act of making women property. Marriage was the way of exchanging women as property. Marriage was the property transfer of a woman between her father and her husband. Regardless of how you feel about it, that's the fact. That was the original purpose of marriage as a construct. The reason why you see divorce rates rise is because women finally have agency over whether or not we stay in these marriages. The reason why you're seeing marriage rates and birth rates decline is because for the first time in human history, women have had more agency than we've ever had on whether or not we get married in the first place and whether or not we decide to have children. There is a reason why women have been socially conditioned into believing that if we don't have children, or if we're not married, or a man didn't choose us, that's like the biggest insult to our identity or our value as human beings. I personally disagree with the entire construct of marriage. I believe that marriage signifies the ownership of women, and I disagree with it as a concept as a whole. And if you're not new to my page, you know that I have no intention of ever getting married. I relish in the idea of being single. I do not want to have any children. And I relish in the idea that for the first time, I'm one of the first generations of women who have the freedom to not participate in any of those things. So to me, not only is it not an insult to my identity and does not dictate my worthiness as a human being, it is a privilege that I get to choose not to get married. It is a privilege that I get to choose not to have children. And I believe that as a woman, you should avoid getting married. You should avoid having children. I think if you are even remotely on the fence about any of those concepts, you need to avoid it. Marriage benefits men, and having children benefits the patriarchy.
Well, the patriarchy just got one over on you. I always said it. These women who make a living as dating coaches, who spend their lives trashing men, it's envy. Envy from not having a man in their life. Envy from being single past 30, and they channel all that bitterness toward men. This one profited off the innocence of millions of women who followed her advice and her mantra, no kids, never get married. And look, the queen bee gets married. Every woman who took her advice, who stopped dating men or walked away from good men. Today they're out here looking like the clown emoji, watching this old queen, at 38 years old, walk down the aisle and leave them all up against the wall. But let's keep going, because she's got more to say.
I'm not saying that no one should have children, or that's where it gets kind of like muddy. Like, I think that marriage does have protections for women who do want to have children, or for women who are with a partner who's great. There are legal protections around that marriage works in favor for. But as a general concept, I think marriage represents the enslavement of women. I think marriage represents, and this is just the way it is. This isn't my opinion. This is what it's been historically. Marriage represents the ownership of property that is women. Marriage is a huge deal, and especially as a woman, if you are at all on the fence about getting married, you need to not get married. Fuck the soft life shit. Fuck the not doing anything with your life. Fuck not making your own money. You need to make your own money. That is a privilege. That is a blessing that you live in a time where you can make your own money and you can make something out of your own life. Do not trade this privilege that women have fought for a Gwagon or for trips to Erewhon. You are worth so much more than that. Your life is worth so much more than that. You live in a time unlike any other in human history. There are women before you who would have given anything to be able to have the opportunities that you have today. They would have given anything. If you marry a rich man, your life will be controlled by him. Your quality of life is going to be dictated by that man. Your relationship may look a certain way today, but it could be very different 10 years from now. It could be very different after you have 4 of his children. It's not worth the Chanel bags. It's not worth the Cartier bracelets. It's not worth the fancy vacations. This is your one life. This is your independence. This is your autonomy. Please just think very long and hard before you enter these contracts, because getting out of marriage, going through a divorce is a fucking grueling process. Co-parenting with somebody who is being difficult, who is trying to control you, is a all-consuming process. You need to really understand what you're signing up for when you do that. This is not something that you do unless you are absolutely sure. Again, it's super nuanced, and there are legal protections that work in women's favor when it comes to marriage. But if I were to give you any kind of advice, avoid getting married, make your own money, do your own thing with your life. Do not put all your eggs in the basket of a man. Because once you get married and once you have those children, everything is different. You do not have that same freedom anymore. You will not have that same opportunity anymore. You can still make it happen. And there are women who their children are like the best thing. It's like, I totally understand. I respect that. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's going to be very hard and it's going to be very different. Being single and childless is a fucking flex. Okay? It is. It's much better than being in a grueling divorce, being in an unhappy marriage, being controlled by a man, or having to co-parent with someone who's fucking crazy. Please just take this seriously. Okay?
So she's become her husband's slave. She's embracing the patriarchy with both arms. Because the truth is, women always want a man. All that strong and independent woman talk is just a sales pitch for the ones who couldn't land a husband. She sells them this idea that they deserve some superhero who only exists in Disney movies. And then when they find themselves alone, she tells them it's the incel's fault. It's the men's fault for not approaching anymore. All that garbage so she can eliminate the competition. The more single women she convinces to swear off men, the better her odds. But check out another gem from her talking about men.
Don't get married, do not have children. Don't get married, do not have children. Unfortunately, that is the reality that we live in. Do not get married. For the love of God, don't fucking get married. Make your own money, have your own career, have your own resources, have your own community. Do not get married, do not have children. It's 4B across the fucking board. We are done.
I mean, it doesn't make sense.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
The fact that you have the ability to live on your own and have your own apartment is a huge deal. The fact that you have the option to not get married and not have children is a huge fucking deal. I don't think you realize how much women would have killed to have these options in the past. They did not have the option. Okay? And the reason why so many people have these shitty ass fathers is because women had to choose somebody because they had no options with their lives besides being a mother and a wife. And if you had a less than ideal mother, the odds are she didn't fucking want to be a mother. She just felt like that's what she had to do. She could have had dreams and aspirations that went beyond being a mother and a wife, but since that is what society told her, it's all she could do, That's what she did. And a lot of women are resentful over that. Women were not allowed to have their own bank accounts until 1974. I don't think you realize how recent all of these developments are. We are on the brink. We are on the breaking point of things looking totally different in the next 10, 20 years than they have throughout the entirety of humanity. Do not take that for granted. This is not the time to split hairs. This is the time to march the fuck forward. This is the time to decenter men and focus on your own life. You have that opportunity now. We never had that opportunity before. It is a blessing. So if you don't have a boyfriend or husband or whatever, and you feel like you're behind in life because you don't, I'm telling you, it is a blessing. Don't settle. If you find this perfect, amazing man, then that's wonderful. Hold these men to a high fucking standard if they're going to be in your life. Because you do not need them. You do not have to have them. And if you pick the wrong one, it'll not only hold you back, but it'll hold generations back.
There's a saying, don't spit into the wind, or it'll come right back in your face. Deep down, this woman always wanted kids. She always wanted a husband. But she hit the wall in her 30s, and the longer it went on, the more toxic her content got. Now she wants to claim it was always until you find the right man. But before, she was telling other women to stay away from men, that the single woman was the happiest woman alive, that she was never going to get married. Her followers are furious. They're definitely mass reporting her account, coming at her from every direction, because the queen bee got married. Now let's watch the video where she responds to her followers and tries to explain her decision.
Yes, I am engaged. Yes, I am the same person who made several videos saying that I never had any plans to get married, I did not want to get married, and I did not agree with the institution of marriage. The gag is, I still don't agree with the institution of marriage, but in those videos, I made caveats. Under certain circumstances, like if you plan on having children, if you plan on living together, if you plan on buying property together, those are the situations where marriage does make sense. I don't think you should feel like getting marriage is a milestone that you must make in your life to feel like an accomplished person. I don't think it's an accomplishment. I don't think as women you should feel pressured to get married, because when women are pressured to get married, they end up in bad situations. I am in a good situation, and I cannot tell you all of the details of the situation I'm in because now the situation I'm in involves another person. So I have to maintain privacy around my relationship, and I will be even more stringent about that going forward. I owe it to my partner, who does not have any kind of presence online at all, to protect our privacy as a couple. I am in a good situation. I'm with someone who is fantastic, and I'm in a good situation. Again, I cannot give you all the details of the situation that I'm in. You just have to take my word for it. If you think that I'm a dumb bitch, then you think I'm a dumb bitch, and it's probably not a good idea to follow me anymore. If you think I'm full of shit, then you think I'm full of shit, and you probably shouldn't follow me anymore. All I've ever done online was share exactly how I feel at that specific point of time, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. Engaging with influencers, content creators, when engaging with social media, you need to utilize discernment. And that has been a pillar of the things that I've said on this channel since its inception. You need to have discernment. If anything I've said had caused you to make major life decisions or to not make major life decisions, that's not a good sign. You need to make decisions for yourself for what is best for you.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
In other words, if you left your husband because of what I was saying, that's your problem for being naive, not mine. You shouldn't get married, but I found my rich man, so I can. Marriage is no good. Unless you land a rich man like I did, then it's fine. This woman is a hypocrite. When she was the single one, she told everyone not to get married. Now that she's married, she says she was just speaking to how she felt at that specific moment, with envy. But it's fine. All those women who followed her toxic, man-hating advice deserve what they got. So they can see that all these women are frauds. But let's keep going, because it only gets better.
Women.
Because it's true. I can't promise you that I'm never going to change my mind. I can't promise you that I'm not going to get more information and make a different decision in the future. I can't promise you that because I'm a human being. All I can do is my best to be honest and forthcoming about what's going on in my life while also protecting myself, my partner, and my privacy, which is I deserve that. Because again, I'm a human being. To everyone who is so supportive, thank you. Because I have a parasocial relationship with you guys too. And it's probably not a good thing, but you mean a lot to me. And your support, your kind words mean a lot to me. Okay. I was very afraid of announcing this because I did kind of know it was going to happen. So thank you so much for your kind words. And that's hopefully shed some insight. But the truth of the matter is there's nothing that I can say that's going to be the right thing to say. If you're disappointed by this development, then you're going to be disappointed by this development. There's not really much I can say or do for you. If I sit here and tell you how amazing of a guy he is, you're going to tell me that he's not, and I'll see it eventually, and I'm going to get played, and I'm going to get wizard lizarded. And if I do, then I do. Bitch, I don't think you realize what the fuck I've gone through in my life. Bring it the fuck on. All right? I can handle hurt. I can handle disappointment. I can handle heartbreak. And I, believe it or not, am a pretty intelligent lady. Say whatever you want about me. Okay? So if I end up getting hurt, I end up getting hurt. But I'm not going to walk through life with a fucking bubble suit on, bitch. And not make any decisions or take any risks because I'm so afraid of getting hurt. I can handle getting hurt. You have no idea. The shit that I've seen. I'm built for a tough bitch. Okay? But anyway, I hope that helps. I love you guys so much. And it is true that I never had any intention of ever getting married. I didn't like having a boyfriend, bitch. Since I was a little girl, I never thought I was going to get married. Life is crazy. So it's shocking to me too. It's shocking to my family, my friends. It's shocking. Life be crazy like that. It do.
Do as I say, not as I do. A woman's worst enemy is another woman. Look at how she insults her own followers, telling them she takes risks, that she went out there and found her man, while she was busy cutting their competition by telling them men were the absolute worst. But let's look at some gems I found in her content, from back when she was spitting all that hate, and how so many naive women took it like gospel. Watch the next clip. It's something else.
Men should always pay for women. And no, it's not because men are natural providers or because women shouldn't have their own money or work. This has nothing to do with gender roles. Men should have to incentivize women to want to be around them for the following reasons. Men are women's apex predator. 91% of rape and assault cases are done to women. 99% of perpetrators are men. 2% of convicted rapists go to prison. And the majority of the time, the offender is someone that the woman knows or is dating. That does not seem very equal to me. And the crazy part is you will hear men complain more about the male loneliness epidemic or feminism than you will hear them talk about any of these things. Men rely on these bad men to make themselves look like good men in contrast. And since they rely on this contrast to evade accountability, they will never actually protect us from these bad men. As long as these bad men exist, we women need these good men to protect us. The problem is that's a lie because they don't actually protect us. Why would women choose to go out with our apex predator and also pay for our own meal? Why would we put ourselves out just to put ourselves at risk? My second point is women's time is more valuable than men's time is. Men constantly tell us that we're going to be undesirable after 30, while they get to be desirable well into their senior years. Now, I don't think that's true, but that's what we're consistently told. In any case, if a woman does want to have children, she does have a limited amount of time compared to a man. And by this logic, since women have limited time, it is inherently more valuable than a man's time. Why then would a woman waste her time to go out with a man who isn't going to make it worth her time and who more than likely is going to waste her time? I promise you're going to feel better about a man wasting your time if he's also fed you and has improved your life and financed your passions and your development. Thirdly, women's reproductive rights. There are very real health risks and financial consequences when engaging with men. Men have largely been silent as our right to choose has been rolled back, and contraceptives are not foolproof. The only way that you can guarantee that you will not get pregnant is by not sleeping with men at all. The reality is you could be stuck carrying a man's child, sacrificing your career and your body and financial stability if you choose to sleep with a man who cannot at least pay for your dinner and nonetheless support a child. Women are forced to dysregulate our hormones with birth control and to risk infections through condoms. And men don't have to worry about these things. Men's bodies are never up for political debate. Ours are. Men cannot and do not split these burdens with us. And they can't split the labor of carrying and giving birth to a child. Finally, women's presence and attention is more valuable than men's are. Erotic dance clubs with female dancers generate $7.4 billion annually, making up 95% of total revenue. Erotic dance clubs with male dancers generate $328 million annually, making up 5% of total revenue. And spicy fan sites reflect the same numbers. Female creators that make heterosexual content constitute 95% of top earners. Male creators who make heterosexual content constitute 5% of top earners. I don't know many women who pay to see men dance on poles. There are very few examples of professional women who have tanked their entire reputation and legacy to chat with minors or to pursue men in a coercive or disrespectful way. Women don't bond with each other over men serving as hot wings and mini shorts. That's what men do. As a woman, when you're seen with a man, it lowers your social capital. And we saw this surrounding the online discourse that occurred when Nina Igdal got engaged to Logan Paul. When men are seen with multiple women, they are held in higher regard by society and amongst their peers. Women who are seen with multiple men, whether she's sleeping with them or not, are condemned. When you are seen with a man, you are increasing his social capital and lowering your own. You should not also be paying for your meal. As a woman, you are valuable, in spite of what society might try to lead you to believe. Things are not equal. If men would like access to women, they need to pick up the slack and make the process of dating them as convenient as possible. And to me, that's not promoting gender roles, it's just common sense.
Now notice something, how happiness changes a person's face. Because in the other video, the one where she announced her engagement, she looks radiant. That's what having a man in your life does to you. The truth is, a woman cannot live without a man. They're miserable, they're bored, they want a man who protects them and spoils them. But when they can't get one, they fill up with insecurity and rage. And that's when you get speeches like the one in that video.
This is what men need from a woman, or what they want from a woman. Don't argue with me, argue with your mother. I'm just here to tell you what I've seen men want from women. You know, if you don't want to give in to what men want, then that's your prerogative. If you're a man and thinks I don't know what I'm talking about, I promise you I do, but whatever, go argue with your mother. People are driven by identity and desire. So in terms of physical attractiveness, you either satiate a man's identity, how he presents himself in the world, how he wants the world to see them, or his desire, what he wants behind closed doors, what he's personally attracted to, what he's personally into. Now, if you check both of those boxes, then that's good. That's a very, very good sign for the longevity of your relationship with this man. Also, quick side note, men go for women that they can afford. Period. End of story. That is how they operate. That is how their brain works. They go for women that they can afford. And if they cannot afford you, they will resent you. I've made videos before talking about how men who have money don't call women gold diggers. Gold digger was a word that was invented by broke men because they resented the woman that they couldn't afford. They will not waste their time with a woman that they feel like they cannot afford and who has a lot of different suitors who could give them a better lifestyle, and give their children a better life and lifestyle than they could. They're not going to waste their time. And if you give a guy like that a chance, he's not going to respect you because he knows that if he were a woman in your position, he would be going after the bigger fishes. Okay, so he thinks there's something wrong with you and your judgment if you're going after him when you could be doing better. It's just the way it works. Men date in their tax bracket, men date, that is how they set their standards. And they will condemn women up and down for living by that too. But I'm telling you, that's the way the world spins. That's the way it works. Okay, this is number 2. Men do not feel comfortable around women. Okay, they desire women, they project all these fantasies onto women, but they don't feel comfortable around them. I think that we women don't give ourselves enough credit for how intimidated and bewildered men are by us, but that is the way it is. So if a man can feel comfortable around you, if he just feels at ease, it's not something that can be said, it's not something that can be articulated. But if a man just feels at ease when he's with you, if you're an easy person to talk to and get along with, that is going to take you so far. There are people who are married to women who do not feel comfortable around them. If society didn't judge men so harshly based on how attractive of a woman that they could get, I think that would supersede or would play more of a role in a man's decision making when it comes to choosing a partner than attractiveness would, how comfortable he is around a woman. But of course, since we live in the society we live in where we're all targeted against each other based on how attractive a woman you are or how attractive a woman that you can get, attractiveness is going to be at the height of a man's decision making. And this is number 3. You have to be detached. You have to be detached. There's something about the responsibility or the emotional responsibility that men detest. Like, it's just, if you hold an obligation to a man to love you or to be there for you, or he has the sense that you're not going to be okay without him there, or that you depend on him, or that you love him more than he loves you, or you need him more than he needs you, or that you're not going to be okay on yourself, or that you don't like yourself or love yourself and you need his validation, he'll play games with you. He'll string you along. He'll use you for what he needs to use you for, but he's not going to respect you as a person. He's certainly not going to choose you as a partner. And if he does choose you as a partner, it's not going to be an equal partnership. It's going to be more of him knowing he has the power, the advantage and the power dynamic of your relationship, and wielding that against you any chance that he gets. You have to be cool. You got to keep it pushing. If you don't want me anymore, cool, no problem. I don't need closure. I'm never gonna go to a man and be like, I need closure. Nope. I'll never talk to you again in my life. I do not give a fuck, because I know that this is how it works. No. No, 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 no. I will keep it pushing. I don't go through phones, and y'all have come after me about that before too. I'm not going to be sus of your female friends. I'm not going to go through your phone. If I sense the vibes are off, then I'm out, and it's not a conversation. It's not closure. Like, call it what you will. You have to understand that you have evolved through thousands and thousands and thousands of years to know when something is up. And you have been taught that unless you can justify every intuition you have with logic, then it's not a reasonable decision to act on that intuition alone. But it is. And I will act on that intuition alone. If I think you're cheating on me, then that's all I need to know. I'm not going to go through your phone. I'm not going to be crazy. I don't need closure. Those are things that men do not respect. Now, you do you. You do whatever you want to do. I'm just letting you know through doing this shit, that I'm telling you, it's the gospel truth.
Gotcha, bitch.
Now, I want to say something to the gentleman who managed to get the queen bee to drop that radical feminism she'd been brainwashed with. Watch yourself. Don't let things get crossed up. Don't go looking for a divorce. Because the last thing we need is to see her back here making hate videos about what it's like to be a divorced woman. We've reached the end, but before we wrap up, tell me in the comments, how do you think things are going to go for that man, knowing everything she's capable of? Do you think the women who followed her have a right to feel betrayed? If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell. Your support means everything to us and keeps us motivated to keep creating content. Stay tuned for the next video from the wall.